to go over how to use Pixlr. Our first tasks today are 4 tools: duplicate, resize, rotate, and reflect. I'm going to show you a few other things like how to move, how to zoom in and out, how to undo. Okay, so if you go to your agenda, that's what we were doing today. Scroll down to our Pixlr tab. Here's a link to the website. And I've even uploaded some images that we can work. So we're going to click on this to bring us to Pixlr. And we're using the E version. And this is all my history, the things that I've opened in the last few days. But we're going to go create new. So create new, we're going to use the full HD. It's going to give us a nice big canvas that we can work, but just, there are different options. There's templates like Instagram, Facebook, etc. But let's use this full HD for today. It's going to give us a nice big canvas. This is going to be our collage page where we're going to be working. Now I want to go get some pictures. So I had loaded to a Google Drive. I'll show you where they are. The link is here, so images you can find. Okay, so that's here, and you're just going to go along and download these pictures. So if you right click on any of these images, you can download them so that they're on your computer and then you can use them. So once you've got your collage page, and we're going to bring in the pictures. So the picture that we're going to bring in today is this one. And so I'm going to just grab it and drag it and drop. And what I want to do is I want to create a new document, okay? So create a new document, and you can see what happens is it's opened a tab. So I have my image, and then I have my collage. So in my image, I want to, collect some of these buildings, and I'm going to make my own new buildings. Just so you know a few things and a few tools to zoom in and out, those are here. So if you're on a Mac, it's Command plus and Command minus. If you're on a PC, I believe it's Control plus and Control minus. So I'm just going to do that with my computer. Control plus, oops, make sure you're on the right document. Control plus and Control minus to zoom in and out. And that may help you with your selections if you're trying to be really precise. Let's say I want to select just this window. I would obviously want to zoom in so that I can see it really, really well. All right, I'm going to zoom back out just for now. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is the first tool we're going to use is the selection tool. So I'm selecting it here, and we've got our rectangular selection. And I'm just going to go in and grab some of these buildings. I'm going to make my own building. So I've got it here, edge to edge. All right. Now I'm going to copy that. So I can go Command C in my case. You can see it gave me a little prompt. Jump over to my collage, and I'm going to paste. Command V. All right. I'm going to go back over to my page, and I'm going to do that a bunch of different times. I'm also going to show you there's a couple different ways to do this if you are having trouble with the shortcuts. So I've got my next part selected. I can also go up here and I can go Edit, Copy, and then go back to my collage, and I can go Edit, Paste. And it looks like they've overlapped. You can see here in my layers, there's my red building and there's my purple building. If I go just get my Move tool, I can just move it out of the way, okay? So that they're side by side. And you'll notice that when I click on an image, it jumps to the correct layer that I'm on. And I could go in here if I wanted, and I could rename the layer. If I just right click there for you. So I could say like red building, so that I can tell better. Or I could also click these little 3 dots, and this is my purple building. If you've got a lot of layers, that might be helpful. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is to duplicate. All right, so this is one of the tasks for today. So to duplicate, there's about 4 different ways to do this. I'm going to show you each of the ways. So I click on the layer that I want to duplicate. The easiest way, I think, is to right-click with your mouse, and it should bring up a duplicate layer. And you'll see here that it says purple building copy. but where is it gone? It's actually sitting right over top of it. So if I get my move tool, I have to be with my move tool, and I drag it off, you'll see that there's now 2 purple buildings, and now they're side by side. To do that a different way, the other way that I can do it is with the move tool selected. There's also this icon at the top, duplicate. So there, we've duplicated again, and I can move it off, okay? The moving off is the most important part, and you can only do that with that move tool. Another way to duplicate, I'm just going to show you all the different ways, is to select your image, and in those 3 little dots, you can also duplicate your layer. All right, and I think the last way is to go to your layer and duplicate layer. So like I said, 4 ways to do everything, which makes it super fun and sometimes a little bit confusing. Okay, so we have duplicated our image. The next thing I want to show you is how to resize your image. So with your one of your objects selected, you need to be on the move tool. You are going to grab one of these corners, and these corners are what I call binding boxes, and they have 4 squares around it, and then this circle in the middle, and I'll show you what it does next. But if we go to the corner, we can drag it up or down to make things bigger or smaller. I do want to mention that you can make anything smaller, okay, as much as you want. So I'm going to duplicate this, make a whole bunch of little ones here. You can make things smaller. What you do need to be careful about is making things bigger. I'm going to show you. When I make things bigger, you can make them a little bit bigger and they're okay. But if you go and try to make this really huge, you will notice that you start to have a lot of pixelization in your image, which isn't great. So you do want to sort of consider that when you're working, that you want to make it maybe a little bit bigger, but not crazy big. You want to stop before it gets pixely. Okay, so now we've done the first 2. The next thing I'm going to show you how to do is to rotate. So with this, I'm going to duplicate it again, drag it off. And again, with my move tool selected, I can rotate. I can rotate with on 90-degree angles, okay, left or right. The other thing that I can do is I can free rotate, and I can free rotate by going to that blue circle in the middle, and I can spin it. Okay, so if you wanted something on a 45 or just to be slightly askew or slightly straightened up, you could do it that way. If I don't like what I've done, one of the easiest ways to undo what you've done is just Command Z or Control Z. So Command Z, oops, Command Z will put it back to how I had it. Okay, so I'm going to rotate that on the 90, and I'm actually going to also make it smaller so it'll fit. Perfect. Say I think that this image is too large and it is, it's not working, it's too pixelized. If I want to get rid of a layer, what I need to do is look for it here in my layers. So I can actually just scroll with my wheel on my layers palette, and I know that I've got this layer because it's highlighted. Do you see how it's green? If I click on this one, it'll jump to this one, and that is this layer. And I can click on those 3 dots and I can move these, and I can delete a layer by just doing that, okay? Command Z, I'm just gonna bring it back. The other thing I can do is if I'm not sure I like it, I can also hide it. So it's there, but it's just turned off. And that's also an option. And you'll see that when I do that, the check mark goes away on my layers palette. Okay, so if I'm not sure about it, I don't think I need it, but I don't want to delete it, I could always just hide it. Okay, so we have rotated an image. The last thing I want to show you is how to reflect an image. So let me go get an image that will look more distinct when I flip it. I think this one will probably do. So these arches go obviously up. So Command C to copy, Command V to paste. I'm going to move it over here. So I'm going to duplicate it so I can show you the inversion or the reflection. So at the top with the move tool selected, here are my reflect. So I can flip it horizontal or I can flip it vertically. So I think with this image, it makes the most sense to flip it vertically. Otherwise, we won't be able to tell. And that way we have shown a reflection. So we basically just put it right upside down. If you want to go in here and zoom in and make sure that you don't have, don't have any gaps between your buildings, you could do that. Sometimes moving a little bit closer at the end just to perfect your image is a good idea. So we have done all 4 tasks: duplicate, resize, rotate, and reflect. The last thing to do would be to save our work for today. So to do that, you're going to just go File, and you're going to go Save. And we're going to save it as a JPEG, and we're going to call this your name, just that way it helps me. This is Pixlr Day 1. We're going to have a few of these as we do these different exercises. Make sure it's on high quality. I'm actually going to drag it up to 100. I'm going to say download. And then this should go to your computer, to your Finder, to your downloads. And here it is here. And then I can upload this to the assignment on the D2L to get the marks for today's lesson. Thanks so much, guys. Hope that went well. You can pause this anytime, obviously, to help you learn.